guess that combination of reading Rainbow and the Pink Panther on jazz tip. Hey, welcome to Change the Lives. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's Change the Lives, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. I'm back from vacation. We had a 1-week hiatus, and we're here to rock and roll. I'm rejuvenated. Had a nice vacation in the Bahamas. Nassau. Me and my family went for my son's PJ's graduation present. Had a blast. So just I'm excited to get the show started today. It's my son, Torian, chiming in. What's up, buddy? We got an exciting show planned for tonight. As I talked about earlier in the month, we're sticking with the theme of Black History Month. We're not talking about history in the shows. We're talking about more so issues in the black community. Okay. And tonight's show, we're going to be talking about does PowerNomics really work? You know, PowerNomics is we're talking about a theory and a practice by Dr. Claude Anderson. He's a black economist, and we're going to go into depth about it. We're just going to have a good discussion about it tonight.
Okay.
And everything, hopefully see how that goes. Just rehab. Well, first let me say what's up to my awesome producer, DJ Lab.
What's going on, brother?
Nothing. What's happening?
You don't look tan. You look tan.
Shit, I'm too damn black. I done been burned so much. I'm trying to just not come back peeling.
I know.
I'm rejuvenated and everything. Also, what's up to Slick 316? Also want to give a shout out to Assistant Joni and everything.
How's she doing?
Yeah, Johnny good. I talked to her yesterday. She doing fine and everything.
Good.
As always, we rehash the previous week. Again, I went to my vacation to Nassau, Bahamas. Had a good time there and everything. Me and the family went. It was a cool trip, man. It was a cool trip, man. Like I want to tell you about when we got to the port. That was my first cruise.
Okay.
And so we got to the port, everybody jumping in front of you, it wants you to take you on tours. You know me, I like, nah, my tight ass, we ain't going on tour now, we're going to walk around. We're going to walk around. Man, we got to the damn corner. Yeah, we walked a little bit past Senor Frog. We actually walked to the beach.
Oh, okay.
Shit, it was so damn hot, man. Damn that. Let me get in somebody's ragged ass van.
They show ragged.
Man, I was talking about, hey, check out the story. Went to the beach, walked around for a little while. We melted. So, seen this one brother with a ragged van. Hey, man, well, come on. He said, what's up? I'm Tiger. Tiger Hood, not the wood. Okay, get in. That's why I told him I had the little fake grill.
Right.
We get in his van.
Okay.
We drove about 5 miles. There's this huge hotel. I forgot the name of it. He talking about the Chinese had bought it maybe like 5 or 6 years ago, but then the company went bankrupt and it sat for like 3 years and they just opened it up about a year and a half.
Okay.
But we riding, right? Here he go. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I'm looking over at him. What the hell wrong with you? We're there. We got a flat tire.
Oh,
and we in this old ass 18 van. And I said, hey, I'm like, hey, you got a spare, right? He said, like, no. Dang, you know what I'm saying? I'm over here, and I'm talking this ragged, he got the push button, changing the radio.
Wow.
He got one of those. And shit. I thought it was an 18 van. 18, what the hell? They had a Scooby-Doo mystery machine? that shit.
One of them 1972 conversion vans.
Shoot. And so he called his buddy up, guy Michael. Michael came and got us. He was in a new van.
Okay.
He got in. So his brother, he picked us up, and it was cool, man. He took us around everywhere. Like I told the first thing he said, well, I want to show you the ghetto. Shit. The hell I've been looking at for the past damn 30 minutes and everything. So he took us around, but he was very informative. He showed us around. He took us to a old slave depot. He took us to a rum factory. He actually took us to a Hotel Atlantis.
Okay.
He was like, yeah, this is what's Sidney Poitier Bridge. We crossed over there and everything. He was very, very knowledgeable. Took us there. When he would drop us off, he'll drop us off like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. He'll come back and everything. Let us walk around and come back. That's also one of the places when I went to Hotel Atlantis that had the free Wi-Fi, so I was able to connect, answer emails and everything. And went there. He took us around to a couple more places. He was real cool. So shout out to Michael. Did a tour. That Sunday went to Coco Cay.
Okay.
To the island. We did to the water park and everybody. We walked around the beach there. So we had a good time, man. I had a blast. I really needed it. Like I said, man, I was like 72 hours. I was away from civilization. couldn't answer no phone, could do no business. I need to let my batteries recharge and stuff like that. So it was real cool for me, especially from a mental standpoint, just to kind of decompress. Yeah, and it took me like a day or so, man, really just to come down from everything and stuff. So it was cool with that. Came back here, you went a heart attack season, man. I appreciate all the support with me getting to Majestic Business Services. Like I said, I met with 15 people yesterday, man. Yeah. We were getting it, man, getting it. And everything. I kind of keep Thursdays kind of blocked off on the calendar because of the show and everything. But, man, tomorrow going to be the same way. So I appreciate all the love and support we got from Majestic Business Services. I put some more of the contact information out later on in the show. So we've been knee-deep in that. This Saturday, well, let me say this first. My son, Christopher, he'll be wrestling this Sunday in the Georgia Freshman State Wrestling Championship Tournament this Sunday.
Oh, okay.
So big shout out to Chris with that. Today, before I came to the show, my baby boy, William, they had the Wax Museum where you go there and touch him. He's Jesse Owens.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I went up there and taped him. I had put in his practice session on Facebook and Instagram yesterday. Mm-hmm. But today he was in his little uniform, little track uniform doing it. And I'll post that later. So I went there before the show. So I'm real proud of Will B with that. Now this Saturday, me and my son PJ, we're going to the Veteran Empowerment Organization. There's a nonprofit organization. They help distressed veterans. They have an annual fundraising dinner this Sunday. I was invited to it because it's $200 a plate. Black tie event.
Right.
Pooch ain't got that.
So the only way you was going was invite.
Nah, shit out my pay grade. I ain't gonna lie to you. I moved up to the $100 plate events and stuff like that. I just started that a couple years ago.
Say, right?
The $200, no.
Then they gonna skip you to the $500.
Yeah, man. Hey, we'll take invitation for that too. But I'm excited about it. Me and PJ going to that. He's excited too. Him getting ready to go in the military. I think it'll be a good opportunity and good opportunity for me also to meet people and stuff. And me being a disabled veteran myself, I'm always pro veteran, and we hear a lot of times that people, especially with the media, with Colin Kaepernick, people not respecting the flag and stuff like that. And what you find out as a veteran, especially a disabled veteran, you're in the military, or coming out as a veteran, you really only care about other veterans. Right. Because you do so much stuff while you're in the Army or the military period that you might not personally agree with. Mm-hmm. But mission dictate everything. Right. And so you're doing a job where you're protecting other people's freedoms that you don't necessarily like or get along with, whatever, but that's the job. So when you get out, we'll just care about other veterans.
Yeah, just about what they going on.
Exactly. And I don't think the vast majority of this country does it. There's one thing to tell people like, I appreciate your service and thanks for what you did. But if you really care, go down to one of them VA hospitals and stuff like that. Because you got some young guys up there, especially come back with PTSD and a lot of trauma from different events that's going on around the world that really need a helping hand. So if you really want to extend some help to a veteran, I advise you to go there. This particular organization, the Veterans Empowerment Organization, they're based right there on Westlake Avenue on the west side. Okay. And it's if you're on the west side of Atlanta, you're noticing that if you go down Westlake, it's right before you cross over North Avenue. It's like it's right before, if you're going towards Bankhead, right before you get cross the North Avenue. It's that little used to be a dental office for years. Next to it, it's like a high-rise house on the opposite side from apartments. And they house help veterans may have drugs or drug addictions, homelessness and stuff. Help them reintegrate back into society and everything. So this is their annual fundraiser and everything. So matter of fact, me and PJ, I've been renting tuxes for the past 2 years. I went and bought my tux yesterday. Yeah. And I feel like a damn fool. I've been renting tuxes for $250, and that'd be, two or three events. $99. $99. Shout out D&K by Greenbrier. All right. $99.
You said, what the heck?
I feel like it. Yeah, no, I did it worse. I called myself.
I know, right?
And then they had to sale. Hell, I bought 2 tuxes. I got 2 pair of shoes free.
Really?
Man, I feel like a fool. All this damn money.
Shut up, $1,000.
Man, come on. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't rub it in, lad.
Oh, okay.
But I was just saying, but it was cool. So we're excited about doing that this weekend, Again, this Change Live hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight's show, we're going to be asking, does PowerNomics really work? Uh, Again, like I said, when I set out at the beginning of the month, I wanted to, in honor of Black History Month, I really didn't want to go too much into about, we hear enough about, and which is great, which I do think it should be going around 365 days out of the year, about Black history and have it always taught just as regular U.S. history to kids. But I wanted to kind of tackle different subjects that affect the Black community. And with PowerNomics, again, that's a practice and a theory by Dr. Claude Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to talk about it because he's real big into group economics, political, group thinking, group economics, group political work, doing businesses, blacks, together empowering each other. Exactly. And that's just, thing with that. But I want to go into depth of the show. Look, is it something that's more theoretical, or is it practical?
Okay.
And everything. And with looking at the show, we're thinking about the show. What had crossed my mind was, a lot of times people talking about what goes on in the Black community. Black folks don't do this. Black folks don't do that. Actually, put a couple polls up on Instagram and Facebook. To ask question, do Black people, support Black businesses? Also, well, do you feel like one of the biggest threats to Black businesses is that they don't support each other? And the other one is, what do you think is the biggest threats to Black businesses? Put those polls up. 100% people thought that Black people were the biggest threat. They don't support Black businesses. That wasn't a threat. Just that question: do you feel like Blacks don't support Black businesses? 100%. I forgot how many people. I had probably like 30-some people responded.
Mm-hmm.
All of them said no. And I got a myriad of answers in regards to what do you think some of the biggest threats? Non-support, the white man, the system. We don't, try to, do certain things. It was just different stuff that was on there and everything. And that's really what we want to do with this show, try to get everybody to get their opinions and everything so we can have great discussions. I also reached out to my brother, LaRon McGee, told him to make sure he
told him to
check in and everything. And what had me thinking about this show in particular was, I look at a lot of times that we look back at the Jim Crow area and segregation where we had to do a lot of things as far as function with ourselves because we weren't allowed to do certain things.
Yeah.
And so we were forced to deal with each other. And with that said, we owned, there were some of us that actually were very empowered. We owned our own businesses, owned our own movie theaters, owned our own cab companies, hotels, and everything like that. But we were forced to do that, as a part of segregation. Once integration came, a lot of that stuff disappeared. And you get vast different opinions in terms of we lost a lot of that because of integration. Well, we used to own that and everything. I have a different view about it because, again, I felt the people that owned it were the people that owned it. I felt like, you still had the vast majority of people running around that had no money.
Same thing.
Yeah, I think you had more blacks that had an opportunity to do business, but I think they just were a small number in regards to still the vast majority. Most blacks didn't have that. And when I look at it in terms of when we did a show previously, that's one thing everyone can go back and look at the show we did last year in regards to how many times did the black dollar go in the black community, where we, discussed, how many times as far as the dollar may revolve in different races within that particular community, and the same thing with the black community. I don't look at it from a simple perspective like we have to do business with each other. Not saying we shouldn't or should, but I don't know if it issue we have to. The reason why I say this is because if Asians and Indians, and we're going to go into depth about, who has head starts and who has, different things to help, and we'll go into that further in the show. But if they can make straight industries and businesses and livelihoods on us, they're not looking at, they actually starting businesses up with just say, okay, we're just dealing in the black community. Why we can't do it to them?
This is true.
Why we can't have the Marine Gay Bar? Why Lab and Deonte can't open up an Irish pub? and we just don't have our face in them.
That's true.
You know, pretty much all the soul food restaurants I go to, majority of them are Asian ran.
Yeah.
When last time you went to a New Orleans seafood place, they didn't have a bunch of Asians in there cooking it, and it was delicious.
Right.
No MSG.
No season salt.
Exactly. So what's up, Chris B? That's what spurred me looking at the show, because I hear that so much, especially with people discussing different things with black businesses. Is it practical? So that's why I want to do tonight's show. Does PowerNomics really work? And everything. Again, this is Deonte Burden. Our show is Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, me. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. You can check us out. We subscribe to the YouTube channel, go to the Facebook page, Change the Lives. We're streaming live on both of them and everything. Got a lot of great videos, over 160 videos right now for you guys to get over, what we at, probably 60 shows, 60 or 70 shows. Another 100 something of those 3 to 5 minute videos you guys can check out. So a lot of good information where we talk about family, finance, love, and parenting, all kind of great motivational stuff on Changing Lives. Also, make sure you get a chance, go to Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about just business, personal finance, real estate investing, and what else we talk about, Mr. Short Dollar? Everything pretty much finance related. So make sure you go to that YouTube channel as well. As always, on our videos, we provide all the links to go to it and everything. So make sure you go to that. Also, a new thing that I did add onto all my Facebook, YouTube videos is that the email list. So make sure you, and I put it on the Facebook page as well. Make sure you join the email list. Make sure you go there, hit that link, put your email address on there. We're trying to build that email list so we can actually give you more good products, let you know what live events or speaking of things we got coming on down the pike. So make sure you hit that link to join the email list. Put your contact information on there as well. Also got a slide for you. Put your birthday on there. You might get a birthday gift to surprise you. Okay. Just give you a little background information about Dr. Claude Anderson. Again, he's a brilliant man, and I follow him for years. He's a black economist, and he's the father of the PowerNomics theory. And he talks a lot about black people empowering themselves and to be able to work through group economics, where we're doing a lot of group thinking, group operations, where blacks, we can control a lot of things for ourselves in terms of economics, political, financial, just being able to empower and stuff. If we work as a unit together, we can control a whole lot more things in the country and also the world as a whole. He talks a lot about doing business with ourselves, also doing business in Africa.
Okay.
Very big on self-empowering ourselves and everything. And I've followed it for the past couple of years. It's a great theory with doing it. But the reason I wanted to kind of go in the show, because I really wanted to talk about is just that, a theory.
All right.
Let me slide in something. Hey, if somebody's trying to watch on YouTube, I don't know where the stream's at. I put the stream key in, and the live haven't popped up on your channel yet. So
Okay.
I don't know, and it's working fine over here. So it may be a YouTube issue. So
Okay.
just letting y'all know, it'll be up in a little while, but I don't know why it's not streaming. I can't figure it out. Everything's working in the cockpit, so it's not me.
As always, we give you other modes to look at it. So if you can't get us on YouTube, you catch us on Facebook, catch us on Instagram on the Deonte B77.
Or you can go on Periscope,
Go on Periscope.
Misfits Media Group,
Misfits Media Group.
live right now.
You have no excuse whatsoever. Appreciate that, Lab. Give a little background information about PowerNomics. Again, that's it's a package amount of principles where developed where you explain different key components that if joined together, it can help create and distribute wealth in the black community.
Okay.
And again, some of the key principles of that being, group economics and group politics. I've listened to it in terms of, over the years and stuff, and it's not nothing I can sit here and just give a 20 or 30-minute explanation. The book is almost over 300 pages, so and it's a very intense book that you have to probably read twice to kind of grasp it and everything like that. But theoretically, that's one of the biggest proponents about it, just group economics, those working together. my view, I kind of look at it in terms of, is it just a theory? Because I haven't really seen it in practice.
You haven't seen it actually. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You haven't seen it in action, or you haven't seen anybody really try to really put it in place.
Well, the thing of it is, you have your, throughout, even like now you have different like co-ops, or you may see like a community where people are working together and they're providing different things and stuff like that. But they're making what we call those sustainable communities and everything, but on a larger scale, say city, county, state, nationally, I haven't seen it. And is it impossible? I don't think nothing's impossible. But the thing of it is that in my mind, I just wonder sometimes is it necessary?
Yeah. I to your point of is it impossible, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it'll be a difficult task to achieve because we're so spread out. We're spread out as people in general. We live everywhere.
Absolutely, or is it even needed?
Yeah.
That's another thing. When I was just looking at it on my vacation to the Bahamas, you're looking at an island, 93% black. This is by 2010 U.S. Census Bureau statistics. I'm just not throwing nothing. I get inbox the question, how you know? Blame the government. But Steve's talking about probably 90% of the inhabitants of the island don't own anything. And you sit there and look at it, is that some of that is oppression, some of that lack of opportunity, some of it just be no implementation. We go into, let's dissect your local black community.
Okay.
Where you sit there and look at it, okay, what's the typical business in the black community that we own? Barbershop, beauty salon that we own. Might be barbershop, beauty salon, might be your little food truck stand out down the road, maybe a little restaurant here and there, detail, and possibly a daycare.
Right.
Okay, those typically the businesses we own, and a lot of time motivation doesn't go any further than that.
Might sell some clothes too.
Might sell some clothes. I got you. You have the clothes thing, your little boutiques and stuff in the neighborhood. Outside of that, that's about it. Capping at that. How much revenue that generates in the community, that's kind of sporadic and everything. But again, we know those common things. There's not too much intuitive to go past those.
Right.
Okay, let's stop for a minute. Let's look at the major revenue generators in the black community. That being your gas station, beauty supply store, liquor store,
and
grocery store, mobile phone stores. How many else own them?
Right, especially the gas station and grocery stores.
Okay, we can go. We're gonna dissect and go some plate ways. Okay, why don't we have it? Why don't we have it?
Yeah,
We feel we better than that.
I'm gonna say the process to getting them is a little bit more than getting a space and throwing a barbershop or a hair salon in there. Maybe the process, because when you're dealing with the gas and groceries and stuff, you got a lot of stuff you have to go through, a lot of processes and stuff. Now, not saying that the people who own them are smarter than us or better than us or more patient or whatever to get them. It's just that the process is a little bit hard. I'm gonna say that.
Totally get that.
Okay.
But if it's to that point, if you say a neighborhood, just say a neighborhood of 5,000 people, not one,
Right.
not 5, not 10, but the Indian come over here
Right.
and the Asians come over here and they can do it.
Yeah.
Not one. Come on now.
Right.
Shit now, come on now. I understand that and I agree with that. And the theory is a lot of times is we just don't want to own it. We don't feel like we can.
Right.
Hell, I'm more stuck on we'd rather work in it than own it.
Right.
I don't own no dang grocery store. Shit, I just want to work, Don't want to sit there and apply. But why not?
Right.
You got folks working at the damn grocery store 30 damn years. Know the produce section inside out.
Right.
And it never crossed their mind they can own their own. And you have some little pockets here and there, but again, they just stay where they at.
Yeah.
The gas station thing, I think it went viral. The guy had on Tyrell Boulevard, the brother bought the gas station. Everybody going crazy. Man, you got so many damn programs. That shit ain't difficult.
Right.
Man, they got some of the programs they got for minority minorities to buy their own damn gas station. All they do is Google and read.
I'm telling people all the time. I'm sorry. We
You
tell
said it
people
right.
all the time that minority women, they got so many programs to help minority women, like men too, but women, man. If I was a black woman, I own everything. Because the programs that they have for us, for them, is just so many. I know people say the black woman is the last one on the list as far as whatever, but they have programs for like, it's so many things they have. I mean, just grants and programs for black women is just amazing to me.
The thing of it is that it's not actually even what's available or not. It's taking the actual initiative to find
Right.
out.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. People aren't attempting. People just talking and assuming. And we're sitting there looking at, about in terms of us working together. When I sit there and look at right now in this day and age, you can actually, when we're looking at just a community based, to your point, what you brought up earlier about neighborhoods are so stratified.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at a neighborhood now, your neighbor may be white, one side, next side be Asian.
Mm-hmm.
And typically, when y'all go to the grocery store, you may go to the grocery store, the Walmart at the corner, the gas station at the corner. And it's just whoever own it, whatever. It's just living in a matter of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
You may go by where you see, a black-owned store, because I think more so consciously, say, let me go support this brother.
Right.
And go there, here and there. But if you're not living in a predominantly black community, that's how that is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you I won't say progress, you just move somewhere, you're not really going to go out the dang way to try to sustain somebody and everything like that. And we're going to get to that because I got a lot of people say, well, why don't you go out your way to support a brother, this, that, and that. And I got a response to that. Because, me being on the Majestic Business Services, a bulk of my stuff I do outside of tax season is business development, business consulting.
Right.
And a lot of times when we talk about just from a group perspective, we can do a lot as a group. And I'm very big and a big proponent of doing stuff working together. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily know if you have to do that because right now we're in a day and age where you can make tons of money just on your phone. Mm-hmm. The world is flat. And if you have a global perspective as a business, and in year, like we talked about before, like the guy selling kente cloths. If people don't necessarily want to buy a kente cloth, that don't mean they ain't supporting black business. They just want a damn kente cloth.
Right.
But there's somebody in the world that wants your kente cloth. As a true business owner, your focus need to be finding who the hell want my kente cloth. It's trying to get people to buy it that don't even want it. Mm-hmm. And that's where we start talking about you being a business owner and everything. We're a race of people that are so brilliant and have so much potential, but I just think a lot of times we just don't spend a lot of times trying to develop ourselves to being better business people. From a group perspective, to your point, we spread out.
Right.
We're not living together, in Negro Town. Mm-hmm. We ain't all on the other side of the track no more. You know what I'm saying?
We came across track.
Yeah, exactly. So, in theory, would that be practical?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I guess my question would be, we support black-owned businesses, but why would the black-owned business want to be, if I'm a business person, I don't want my sustainability to be within the neighborhood. Now, don't get me wrong. I still want to have businesses in my neighborhood. But if I'm going to be sustainable and I'm going to grow, I got to be a global person and think outside the neighborhood. My sustainability shouldn't be if this black guy or my brother or sister walk by and they don't buy anything, I'm going to go out of business. I should have other sustainable assets and other sustainable customers to where if they do walk by and don't buy anything, I still have other revenues of businesses coming in. I have a website, I have this, I have that. There's just so many other ways to generate business where you could still stay in the black community and still make sure that we good in the community, but your revenue generation is coming from other places.
That's a great point. And I look at it in terms of, just say when a baby born. Mm-hmm. When a baby born, his vision is blurry. So they see kind of maybe some opaque figures and this, that, and that. And it's just between that, just say a couple months to maybe a year, how the vision open up. And then as a baby, like a year old, They see people, hear noises and stuff like that, and they have their own different kind of interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get older, you realize things, you can speak and do different things like that. The analogy with a business owner is that people keep themselves in the baby phase where they just limit themselves, I'm just going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
If you evolve as a business owner, the more you know, your vision expands.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't see no more than this this strip,
Mm-hmm.
that's all you're going to see. But if you put yourself where you're going to evolve and learn, your vision expands.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to see past that. That being because they're not competent, scared, hard-headed. It be a number of different reasons why they don't expand. But when you, like you said, we just want to be stuck on that. Now, with that said, it ain't nothing wrong with it. Like, I just want to stay in the community. Why I say that? Because Timmy Wayne, they got the Chinese restaurant. He's making a fortune in the hood.
Right.
So it is telling you it is possible.
Right.
But you got to have a business model for that niche.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that, it ain't gonna work.
But at the same time, Timmy Wayne might seem like he making a fortune from the hood, but you don't know what other revenue streams Timmy Wayne got going on. His other revenue streams may make it seem like he is making a fortune in the hood, but he may have that offset in that business. You get what I'm saying?
No, totally agree. Totally agree.
It may the appearance of, Timmy Wayne making a ton of money in the hood, but Timmy Wayne got other revenue streams that is sustaining that business within the hood. That's what I'm saying. We could keep our business in the hood within our community, but at the same time, we gotta have a global vision of that business in the hood. We got to be in everybody's hood.
No, you totally agree with you. Again, this is Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, Change the Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Subscribe to it. Go to the Facebook channel, Facebook page, Change the Live, hosted by Deonte Burden. Make sure you like the page. What am I forgetting? It'll come back to me in a second. Tonight's show we're discussing, does PowerNomics really work? And to your point of, you want to have a global perspective, but I don't want it to seem like where you can have a local business model that can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Just say if you don't have any other streams of income.
Okay.
Just say you just got a beauty supply store.
Mm-hmm.
And Asians, it might have one, he may be making a killing, but he has a niche down business that's great for that community.
Mm-hmm.
The thing what I'm trying to get at is that not necessarily, I don't want to go too much past that. It's just that business model works for that particular area.
Right. Okay.
If you have, you've seen a Walmart close in particular areas before because it wasn't needed for that particular area. We can sit and say some Walmarts just thrive. They just stay packed. Some don't. If you have a particular business for that particular area, the people in that community need that service, it'll be there. But also, that's the thing about it. A lot of times we're not looking at, for what I'm doing, is it needed?
And now I was going to say that we have to do our due diligence and see what's needed in the area. We can't just say, Timmy Wayne making a ton of money selling hair, so I'm finna sell it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to figure out, why is he selling a ton of hair? What does he have in there that's making him sell a ton of hair? If he's got a lot of gray hair that he's selling, then I need to figure out what other color hair that he don't have that may be a catch.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You gotta find, like, if I'm selling, like, if you selling widgets and you making a ton of money off of widgets, then I come along and say, well, he's selling widgets. Well, I'm gonna sell glow in the dark widgets. You get what I'm saying? Because I see he's selling widgets, but his widgets don't glow in the dark. My widgets gonna glow in the dark. Let's see what happens with that.
Absolutely. And see, just knowing, being that savvy as a business person, that's what I think a lot of people miss. So again, we start looking at, I'm not saying the group economics doesn't work. I'm asking, like, is it needed? Because even to that point, let's just step out of the neighborhood. If I know that the world is flat and we're dealing in a global economy, that if I got a product that may have a very big need in Asia, in the UK, in Australia, and I'm trying to sell that to my local neighborhood or local economy, it's not going to work.
Right.
But I can have an Amazon store set up. I got fulfillment centers set up around the world. Whereas at the end of the day, I'm pushing this kind of stuff going out. Hey, I could be making millions of dollars on a global perspective. But for you to understand that, you got to, like I said, work on your vision to learn that kind of stuff.
Right.
You just can't think at a certain level, especially when you start talking about I'm a business owner, CEO, or anything like that. I just think that people limit themselves with that. And like I always tell people, if you want to get into business and actually, you want to go from that side hustle to actually be recognized as a business person, I mean, you can just go Atlanta Metropolitan College and get you the basic associate and business classes. That'll equip you with enough knowledge.
You don't even have to go and pay for that. They got free courses online now.
Exactly. Well, just to equip yourself with some kind of basic knowledge of a business person, basic business, basic management, basic marketing, basic accounting, just to kind of give yourself some kind of foundation in business. Again, it's to Change the Life, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Tonight's show, we're talking about, does PowerNomics really work? And what I want to do is go over a couple things that what I think has hurt black businesses the most. I'm going to say this, and again, I'm just be honest. This is me coming from my personal experience and everything. I don't think that we're at any shortage of competent and expert, black business owners or when I say competent, people that actually can produce products or services. We have outstanding plumbers, outstanding electricians, outstanding bakeries and restaurant. Food is great. And I don't think we have issues. I think the customer service issue we have is the same everywhere. I can go to a white restaurant and get the same, and everything. I think the issue comes up just from business competency. I don't think that we're really equipped in terms of just being knowledgeable business people. That's what I've noticed. And to be honest with you, it's going to, a couple of these steps. Number one, it's not really a racial thing. I think most people go into business and they're not necessarily, knowledgeable on how to do basic business. When I mean basic business, I ain't talking about going and shaking somebody's hand and doing good work and give them a fair price. No. I'm talking about have a decent perspective on how business operates. Because your fair price may not be a good price.
It might not be a sustainable price.
Exactly. And having the wherewithal to understand that. Because you want to cut them a deal, sell them something for $15, but if it's costing you $14.50 just to make it, that 50 cents ain't gonna be able to cover no cost. And just having that kind of knowledge to do all that front end analysis to do that, that's what's not known. Your basic, business education, you learn those breaking even analysis, the cost benefit analysis, just knowing all that stuff you got to do on the front end before, like you say, sell one widget. To say, okay, I got to charge this, and I got to sell so many of these to pay rent, and I got to sell so many more to cover payroll. And if I don't do this realistically, I can't have it. And if you see those numbers on the front end, you just won't do it.
Yeah, you got to do the cost of profit analysis to see what exactly is needed from year, month, week, and day.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about it. When we're looking at this, I just think most folks don't really spend their time investing themselves. Be it if you want to go to Georgia Perimeter, Atlanta Technical College, or like you said, spend a couple hours, a couple weeks or days on YouTube and Google getting information. People don't want to do that. People rely too much on past experience, which is that past experience, but it's not new knowledge, and don't want to invest in themselves. And unfortunately, again, I tell people all the time, we talked about the show a couple weeks ago. We talk about the education worth the cost. You're gonna pay for it sooner or later. If you're gonna pay for it, to go to school on the front end and get educated, or you're gonna pay later on to have somebody that knows that information, that is educated on to fix it. You're gonna pay for it regardless.
It's not gonna be free.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it regardless, through your money, your time, or your heartbreak. Some way, regardless, you still gonna pay for it and everything. You cannot afford getting educated. And like we said, education is not necessarily something you learn in the classroom. It can be through experience. It can be through working with somebody. It's just any kind of knowledge or experience that you can acquire. And a lot of times, when I look at black businesses, black-owned businesses, they're not spending a lot of time with that. They're not spending a lot of time trying to invest in quality human capital. That being, hey, lab is a guy I can look for myself, for example. People come to me, they want this accountant, this business consultant. Well, I got to pay for that tax season right now. What's the first question I get asked?
How much that cost?
How much it costs?
I ain't gonna pay that much, man. Come on.
I don't have them conversations.
Right.
I got too much education, too much experience. We offer too many services. I mean, we get free audit protection. I pay for the premiums. With that, look, I'm not charging a premium, but I ain't Mr. 40% tax, and none of my advertisement. Do you see Mr. Discount or Mr. This? I'm not gonna do that because we're gonna give you quality service. We've been in the game 19 years, and you're gonna pay for it. But what you're not gonna do is have headaches at night, or you got to worry about, if you get a letter in June. Okay, I can't find Deonte, and I'm getting that boo, boo, boo.
Right.
You go by the office, nobody there.
Say phone gonna ring.
Exactly. We got somebody there, like I said again, we offer free audit protection. Somebody call, listen, you got over almost, $3,000 to just cover any kind of errors or omissions. Yeah. Those kind of things you're paying for. And you're covered with that. And I just think a lot of times when we start talking about the human capital, paying the right people to do certain things. You want to go on Google and get a contract that has so many loopholes on it that you don't want to pay a lawyer to just do all this kind of stuff to cover you. It's going to blow up in your face.
I think a lot of times we have a problem with, I think that once we start as business owners to start thinking that we know everything, business is going to fail. Because you never know everything. You can pretend to know everything, but you still, if you're not constantly learning as a business owner, constantly learning something new every day, or trying to learn something new, or thinking about a way that this business can be better every day, and trying to go and figure out what you're thinking about, how you can implement that in your business, then eventually your business is going to fail. Because for one, you're not innovating. You're not thinking about other things. You're not thinking about other ways you can get business. You may be frying chicken, but you might be thinking, well, shoot, I'm going to put cornflakes on the chicken, make it crispier. You're not thinking about that type of stuff. You have to always be thinking about other ways that your business can be better than your business. You get what I'm saying? You're not competing with the guy next door. You always should be competing with yourself. That's
an awesome point you bring up. That's one of the things that, not only in business, just in life, you just can't be comfortable.
Right.
That's why it's no longer a Sears or a JCPenney. And Walmart, because you underestimate people.
Pier 1?
Pier 1.
Why they gone out of business?
Let me just think about it.
Because they innovate.
Macy's, all these places.
You see Amazon
come on now.
Oh, he just selling books.
They seen it coming. They just underestimated it.
Right.
And they didn't evolve to do it. You look at a lot of them stores, they near the end, they start doing online commerce. But like, man, I'm not gonna be on no damn internet. What's the internet?
Right.
Instead of just trying to, adjust to the times. And that's what happens a lot of times. We get comfortable, we get lazy. We don't see things and we don't want to react. And that has happened a lot. When I look at the terms of from a group theory, I think from a moral internal standpoint, you should help another brother out. You should help see another sister need. You should do it.
And I agree with you 100%.
But is it necessary? Is it necessary to be sustainable? I had a conversation with some brothers earlier today. We were just sitting chopping up. A friend of mine had us on the phone together, and the brother brought up that he really feels that a lot of blacks, we should be doing, for us to be successful, I forgot the exact way he framed it, but in general, it's like for us to be successful and long term, we need to be doing a lot of business in Africa. I mean, it's a ideal, but I don't think that's necessarily needed. I'm just saying there are kids today that kids, just people making hundreds of $1,000s sitting in their underwear.
Man, I subscribe to this website called Wealthy Gorilla. And it's a guy on there. They call him the Instagram King. All he do is be on Instagram. Net worth $200 million from Instagram. YouTube sensation. Net worth $45 million from YouTube. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So when you say that the world is flat, it's definitely flat. The problem is that we get tied up into physical businesses where we physically got to go into something. I'm gonna give you a good example. With this business we do here, people always say, "Well, we need to get a storefront." No, the hell we don't. Because for one, we got to think about the cost of the storefront. For two, I don't have any problems getting people want to do shows down here in the dungeon. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
But you get so caught up into, we need a storefront. We need to be on the storefront. We need to be on the street. No, you don't, because if you're offering something that somebody else is not offering, or offering a product that people are not really thinking about, they're going to come to you anyway. People going to come to you anyway because they want to get what that product that you're offering. Everybody wants to be a part of what you're doing. So if you're doing something that's innovative and that has a prospect of being better than the past or being better then you're going to get people to come to you. We get so tied up in the physical things and it's got to be a storefront or it's got to be a this. We don't think outside that box. And that box, there should be no box anymore.
And typically, a person that will say that is a person that really doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we find out, especially when you get into business, to your point, you can't be more focused on the package or the box to come in more than the content
of the
or
box
inside.
Yeah.
You know, you worry so much about the cake box instead of the actual cake. That's where you lose it.
Yeah.
And you don't really understand it till you go through it. But as a consumer, a lot of times, you thinking the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I tell my kids a lot of times when we look at businesses, I said, don't ever get traffic confused with profits. So like you said, you know, we were talking earlier, you see a store got a lot of people coming in and out, and all of a sudden they close.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell happened?
They was doing some good things.
Yeah. You see what the brother just closed? I mean, he got all kind of reasons why they said with the soul crab and everything. You don't know, I forgot the brother's name. You know, he's had a lot of reasons why he closed.
It was called Soul Crab?
Soul Crab. He was, what's the guy, Darius can cook, but he had a couple of his restaurants closed. He had different reasons.
Okay.
But my whole point is that I know they got different reasons why it closed, but again, you can see a business that is actually got traffic, but you don't know the cost they're operating at. You don't know if he's making a profit. And I'm not saying he closed because of that, but I am saying that sometimes you can get so focused on, from a consumer perspective, they doing good and they big. You see a club jam-packed, but you don't know what kind of money they losing in rent, insurance, all other kind of stuff.
All that stuff that you got to add in there.
Exactly. That actual owner got to sit and look at it. And again, a lot of times people get in the business and they come to me. Well, man, we just bought this, we did this, that, and that. And they never did that on the front end or even during to kind of trim fat here and there. Because number one, they might didn't try. They didn't know. They didn't try to find out. You know, and then when it's almost time to try to get a life raft and, without drowning, it's too late.
Mm-hmm.
So I just, I want to have that discussion tonight, and I want people to, leave your comments. And this is something we can even revisit, at a later time. Be thinking about that. Again, is the group thing necessary? Because, again, I think it's great from a theoretical standpoint. When we say black folks can't do this, black folks can't do that, man, for us to been through a lot. I mean, I looked at what was the movie, Boss? It just came on Georgia Public Television. Black business, the history of black businesses. It's a documentary just came out about a month ago. Okay. And everybody look at that. Okay. The black business experience, Boss. And it went through like a historical perspective of like we went through emancipation and emancipation we got then the Freedmen's Bank, going through all that kind of stuff with Black Wall Street and Harlem Renaissance, Sweet Auburn, how we started businesses, even when we started business and we got started getting at a certain level, how whites would come wipe us out, kill us and everything, take our businesses, and how we even bounce back and stuff. And just be looking at some of these people that didn't have anything, but they had that hustle bustle to want to do it. But even when you look at that, in the perspective of thing, the grand perspective, was it a lot of us doing well, or just more of us that's doing well in perspective then? Because even right now, you look at it that I think you probably got more black millionaires now, and you have a lot of them making it, through probably non-traditional methods. And when I mean non-traditional, I'm talking about just not your regular 9-to-5 job. Being entrepreneurs, entertainment, and different things like that. We haven't embraced some of the challenges to try to find out how to do that. When you want to have some kind of success is uncomfortable. You're going to sit here and make some sacrifices, and it's painful to make sacrifices because you got to get some things up that you want to do. Yeah. And I think the vast majority of people out here don't want to do that. That's why the vast majority of people ain't successful.
Yes. There will be no success without sacrifice. You got to realize, you got to sit back and realize some of the things that you can't and won't be able to do once you become successful, because you got to sustain that success. Success is not easy. If it was, everybody should be successful. Successful is a hard thing to do. And it's a hard thing to sustain, and it's a hard ladder to climb because there's always thorns and everything that's stuck to that ladder when you're trying to climb it. But you have to be persistent, perseverance. There's days you're gonna be like, man, I'm so tired of this, but you gotta have a vision of. You get what I'm saying? You gotta have a vision of.
And a key word you forget that I think most people just don't fall into: discipline.
Discipline.
You know,
Realizing you might have to stay up a little bit later. You might have to think of a proposal, or you gotta send out an email, or you gotta do this, or you gotta do that, on top of working a job too, because you gotta be sustainable in what you're doing. Your business is not making money, but eventually it will.
Yeah, because here's the deal, Lab, and I just really want to stress this. Again, this is Change Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. Change Live, hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Go to the Facebook page, like the Facebook page, Change Your Lives. Also, make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar, where we talk about business, finance, personal finance, real estate investing. And tonight's show, we're talking about does PowerNomics really work? PowerNomics being the theory by Dr. Claude Anderson, where we do a lot of group economics, group political based, group operations, mainly with the black community. I'm gonna say this, man. I think it's a big dang cop out a lot of times, and because we say, we talked about this in previous shows, where we look at, okay, people can come to this country. They got, we brought up earlier, have different advantages, where they have different opportunities, already to get pre-funding. They have certain things set up, tax breaks and everything like that. They got it. But like I always say, once you make the decision, get in the race. Me and you finna race. Lab got a 10-meter head start. Then I got another guy, Slick 316, standing at the start line. They got my black ass laying on the ground with my feet tied up. Once I make the decision to race, I cannot complain about it. Now, we bring awareness to it. We know it ain't. But you made a decision to run. Okay? And once you made a decision to run, go on and get into it. Here's the other thing to it, the other side of it. When we cross the finish line, I might then beat you, but I finished. So if you made 100 million, Slick made 50 million, I made 1 million. I made that.
Right.
Now, again, is it fair or whatever? No, but it is what it is. Your question you ask yourself, would I rather not compete at all and say keep running my damn mouth, or let me get started? The thing we got to sit here and say to ourselves is, we know things ain't fair. We know things ain't always right or wrong. But we really going to have problems always trying to keep ourselves in comparison to other people. We can look at that from ourselves and white folks or Asians and Indians. Hell, we look at it most time with just black folks.
Ourselves and ourselves.
Exactly.
Ourselves and our people.
I can't get tired of with your money.
Right. Because I got to make my own.
Exactly. And I think so many times people keep themselves in neutral because they don't want to make that initial movement or the initial discomfort to try to get certain things because they so, whatever, feel and, inaction, whatever, and get throw out this kind of stuff. You got to get out of that.
Yeah. I think also we get tied up into watching other people's success. We distract ourselves with seeing how successful. Like I can say, man, Poochie real successful. How he doing that? You get what I'm saying? I get so tied up into how you making your 100 million that I ain't even start making I ain't even tried to make my 100 million because I'm so wrapped up in what you doing.
Yeah.
I ain't even started the race yet. I ain't even got it going because I'm study watching you. Instead of me watching you and taking notes from what you're doing maybe and try to get my own things started, I'm never starting because I'm so tied up into what you doing. Instead of paying attention to what I got to do. You get what I'm saying? I can't watch your money. True enough, we might, oh man, he got so much money and here I am doing such and such. I can't worry about that.
Yeah.
I got to worry about how I'm going to catch up to you in this race that I'm running because I already decided to run a race. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
May not catch up, but goddamn it, I'm going to finish.
You know what? The funny part about that, on the flip side you got a lot of people that are doing well. They're doing well, and you can be like me, but they don't sell the journey.
Right.
They don't sell the pain. They sell the finished product. Look at me. You see I'm on this. You go on YouTube. You see me on this yacht, and I did this. A couple years ago, I wasn't making any money.
And that's exactly what...
You join my course for $1,000 a month, and you can have this stuff too. And you're like, oh, yeah. And people see those optics and it looks good and stuff like that, but again, they don't want to spend that time to find out, like, look, man, it ain't that easy.
Yeah, 5 years ago he was doing this, but did you realize that 15 years ago he was trying to still get this course going?
And that's the thing about it. And I really want to have these conversations with people because, again, what I do think is just in conversations I've had in the past week, is just by this particular subject, what happens is I think a lot of times, especially from an age perspective, a lot of people, especially 40 and over, definitely 50 and over, they can't even process how people making money now. You get people in their 60s.
I'm on 40. I process.
Well, you know, well, you're not the norm though. Yeah, but you understand what I'm saying when I'm talking about processing in terms of, you know, how just say kids are making money on through, like you said, Instagram King. Like, you're not the norm to be doing that. Just being straight up. Especially so you go past 50, definitely 60. They don't even want to do email.
Right. You right.
Man, let me tell you something. I've been in a lot of organizations, man. Do you know how it was pulling teeth to get, especially when I say organizations, talking about that more older people, they didn't want to use PayPal, any kind of e-commerce or payment processing. They want to still take checks.
Right.
Cash.
Right.
So now you got everybody living off their phone and stuff like that. They don't want to be sitting there doing that kind of stuff.
Money is digital now.
Exactly. And when you do that, look how you've limited to who you can get. And so I say is to say that I think and I don't know if that's an easy fix, because people, how open you are, especially with older and everything like that, or how open you are to try to learn more. Let's take out you just don't understand, just willingness to learn and embrace it. I think a lot of times in business, younger people are meant to run businesses. I think older people are there to give more wisdom and guidance. And depending on where you at on that spectrum, from an older person, how willing you are to kind of be flexible and let certain things go. That's as far as I think how your company's going to go with doing certain things. And you see probably some of the most growing companies, they have older people at the helm, but it's younger people running it. Because, again, they know the fresh ideas, but the older person can kind of say, well, listen, you're going too far left. You might want to try to understand you doing that new stuff, but you maybe want to do that. And you see that, again, with a lot of churches, probably some older black organizations. They've kind of got to a point.
Yeah.
You know, you've seen that and kind of, and everything. That's probably why you see Ebony and Jet and all them kind of just plateau. Because they didn't do what Vogue or maybe some other places did. They were too slow to respond to certain things. And you see the aftermath of that. So, again, tonight when we talked about the PowerNomics really work, I think it's a great idea. And I do think it could work. I want to see it in practice, but I just don't know right now where we are. Is it the key solution? I think that personally, as black Americans, I think one of the biggest things we need to focus on is learning how to take advantage on what's available to us. It's great to sit here and say, hey, we can work together and do certain things, and I think we can. But I do think we need to take advantage of empowering ourselves to learn what kind of global economy we are in and how we can take advantage of it. Because the world is cyclical. What you can make money in now, you may not be able to make money in 5 years from now. It may not be an afterthought. I mean, the brother that sold CDs 15 years ago was making bank.
Right, out the back of his car.
He back selling incense now. Yeah. Come on now. Just look at that.
Yeah.
Even that's why Kodak went out of business.
They didn't innovate.
Exactly.
I read a documentary. I read a book about that. Article. It was like a 10-page article. How they were just so slow to come around to, and you know what the thing about them was?
They created digital photography.
They already had the digital stuff.
Exactly.
But they didn't go with it.
Exactly.
So somebody else came. They already had the digital cameras.
Exactly.
They had digital cameras. They was like, nah. And that's when I forget who it was. It was a small company came in with it and swooped it up.
Exactly. And you seen that with same thing with IBM. With they had all the personal processors, and you had them Microsoft came and got it. That's the thing about it. We have to be prepared, and like I said, black Americans, I really think our focus needs to be empowering ourselves with knowledge. And once you empower yourself with knowledge, then we can find or chart out a path to do that. I understand, again, it's a matter of personal opinion. There's some people out here that are a lot more educated and knowledgeable on certain facts than I am too.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that depending on where you are in that hierarchy of life and hierarchy of social status and stuff like that, sometimes we up here, we understand what the man down here, is dealing with and living with. But a lot of times we done forgot. Because once you done got fat, you kind of forget how it was to be hungry.
Agree.
You
Always.
You remember, and it's good to talk about.
And you don't want to think you forget opening the refrigerator and it's empty, and then coming back 2 hours later and it's still empty.
Yeah, there you go.
You get what I'm saying? But I think that we as black folks, we have to have innovation, perspective, and discipline. We gotta be able to visualize the business, innovate the business, and have the discipline in order to make the business grow. We can't just start a business, set a chair outside and say, here they come. It don't work that way.
We see it every day. When everybody started to be, what the first thing they do? Post on Facebook. Come on, do this, that, and that, and everything like that, and just think that's going to happen.
The ground game. You got to have a ground game, too. That's why I tell folks all the time, you got to have a ground game. You can't post it on Instagram and think they're going to come. You got to send email blasts. You got to go to the stores and hand out stuff. You got to do a bunch of things that you wouldn't think you normally do. Sure, internet is great. Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff is great for advertisers. Don't get me wrong. But you're going to miss some folks, or you're going to miss some things if you don't have you got to have a ground game to know if these people even want what you got.
Or really, you can have a ground game to use the internet.
Some people don't get it. We got a friend who was told, she was like, oh, we gonna start this doggone t-shirt company. Everybody gonna sell them. Everybody keep telling me, come on, we gonna get it started. Every day nobody buy a shirt.
That's not uncommon.
Dumbfounded. What?
But everybody gonna like your post for your shirt.
Yeah.
But no, everybody gonna buy it. But there is some people that want it. Your job is to find out who the hell want it. And that's where people get lost at. Because again, you already know that if you only have 2,000 Facebook friends, just say 2,000, 5,000 Facebook friends, you had the max. Maybe 1% gonna buy your stuff. And that's just it.
You have to do those. You have to do those analysis.
Yeah, the 1%.
You got 3,000 followers. Only 1% of them gonna like your stuff anyway.
You got to go out there and get that money and figure out how it is. And everything. That's just one of the challenges I want to pose to people. So
when money don't walk, I gotta go get it.
There you go. There you go. And I just think that again, with tonight's show, we talked about the PowerNomics really work. I think theoretically it's great. I just want to see some examples in practice. Outside of probably a little neighborhood co-op. Because I went to a Black Empowerment conference back in 2016 up in Chicago, and they had some co-ops up there. They were selling their own tissue and shea butter. And and pot ass soap. Shit, I don't want. Shit. And they was there like, yeah, man, I don't want this shit. No. I ain't in no damn tribe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, no. I ain't knocking nobody.
Right, but I don't want it.
I don't want it. But there are people that want it to pay a premium price from it. So I'm not tripping if you want to be co-opted and live in that circle. But I am saying don't limit yourself thinking that's the only way you can do it. And I just pose that challenge to everybody. And I want to tell everybody I appreciate everybody that tuned in. I appreciate everybody that's going to look at the show later on. Changing Lives, by yours truly, Deonte Burden, with it tonight. We asked the question, does PowerNomics really work? Just spin back to what we were talking about earlier. We're in the beginning of tax season. I'm the owner of Majestic Business Services. Make sure if you got, come to us, this tax season, which is tax prep needs, you can visit on the web at www.majesticbiz.com. The number of the office is 678-479-4007. Again, that's 678-479-4007. You're looking to start a business or need some kind of consulting with your current business. Once you go to the website or even on the Facebook page, you can hit that link to book an appointment. If you want to buy any merchandise or look at some of the other speeches, you can go to DeonteBurden.com. You need to book any for speaking events or anything like that. The merchandise, speaking events, everything at DeonteBurden.com. The links are there. To get the merchandise for our online store, we also have Madame Burden for you ladies who want to buy some stuff. We got some new designs going to be coming out in another month. With that idea, listen to everybody. We're going to get those images of my silhouette off and everything. Have some of that sweet candy stuff you ladies like wearing and stuff. So we'll have that ready for you again. What am I forgetting? Make sure you go to Mr. Short Dollar. We'll put a lot of good information out and everything. And as always, guys, on all the videos on YouTube, please go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it. I have all the links there. So, you have time, just go to it. Keep supporting us, and I really appreciate also support Misfits Media Group, Misfits Radio. We have some great shows on the station. We've been growing immensely in the past couple of years. And a lot of it due to you guys' network. We're streaming live on YouTube, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. I'm on Periscope. Soon to be Pandora and everything like that. So we're gonna get it. We're gonna think positive. But again, so when you drive and you got time to look at Pooch video, I heard that excuse. You can listen to the podcast. So just keep supporting us and everything. I love you guys. Thanks for the support. And next week we're gonna have an awesome show. I'm trying to get a guest on, but we're gonna be talking about integration. The integration really did it hurt us or not? And everything. Because I hear a lot of people say, "Ooh, doing good in segregation." I don't know about this shit. I don't know about that.
I used to have that perspective too.
Yeah,
So
I like I said again, I think that we had more, but I think it was just maybe a smaller amount had it, and it was just in the grand scheme of things.
I don't even think it was the more thing. I think we treated the things that we had better. That's all I'm going with. I think we treated we respected, and we'll get into it, but I think we respected and appreciated our neighborhoods better because it was where you get what I'm saying? We respect and we appreciate it, but like, I'm gonna give you a good example. We talk about Banking and how, they trying to gentrify the area, and we didn't, grandma kept the house for so many years and paid taxes, cut the grass, and when we got it, we didn't do those things.
I think you're absolutely right with that. On the flip side of it is, and we're going to reserve that for the show, we forget about the effects of what crack cocaine did.
Yeah.
I mean, that was so powerful, how that affected our communities. We just forget about that.
But it was a lot of people doing that, made a lot of money, so the money could have been still used to save them houses.
That money got lost in legal fees. That money got seized. That money got seized.
But when it wasn't seized.
Yeah, but you got people that will get money that know how to do nothing with money, but buy, Cadillacs and gold teeth. That's all, with that. And even to your point, we're going to reserve that for next show.
Okay.
I mean, like now, shoot, we doing well. We go get a nice house. We get manicure lawns. We take care of our stuff.
When you get money, then folks get the hell on. They try to get far away from other black folks' house.
Well, even if you get in a neighborhood, because you do have some predominantly upper middle class black neighborhoods for everybody, doing well and stuff like that. Yeah. And so you said everybody take care of the yard, take care of the house and everything like that. So it didn't disappear. I just think that I don't want to keep saying. I just think sometimes people just cop out. Like, look, man, we doing all right. We ain't saying peanuts. Well, I just think the images were better. Especially you look at them old pictures, you see the old man in the suit, everybody groomed up nice. But man, they still live. Man, no. In comparison to what everybody else had, no. And again, like now we on equal ground. When I say equal ground, I don't mean equal opportunity. I'm talking about you have opportunities to get stuff now that you didn't before. Again, if you want to make money in Australia, you can make it. If you want to make money in China, you can make it. It's just as long as you got the knowledge, the go-getting, the discipline and stuff, you can make a lot of stuff happen.
And I know we in China because I just heard on NPR how the students from Nigeria and I forget the other country are stuck in Hubei province where the coronavirus started because the country won't bring them out. So they there. We there. It's like they say it's 5,000 of them over there from Africa. They can't get them home because they don't have the money to bring them back. But to your point, I don't want to say China folks don't let us over there. They over there.
You won't need to bring their ass back till they get that damn corona off their ass. That shit off their ass. Shit, get that corona off their ass. That's a whole nother damn show. Okay. Keep your fleas at home. Anyway, But even at the end of it all, man, I appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us, me, the show, the station, and everything. But make sure you tune in next week. Well, again, we'll be in the month of Black History Month. We'll be talking about, as segregation or integration hurt us or anything like that. But I'm trying to get a guest on and everything so we can have a little more spirited debate with that again. But thanks again for tuning in to the show. This Change Live hosted by yours truly, Deonte Burden. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel, subscribe to it, leave comments on the videos, go to the Facebook channel, like it, leave comments and everything like that. Take care, you guys. See you next week. Love you.